about poetry. Every single poet in the Virginia area, correct?
Just about.
Okay, yeah, has been on that, okay? I didn't even know I was on it until 2 years later, okay, really. All right, so, and also Nate, my media savvy comes from him, okay? It's if he's on YouTube YouTube takeover. I'm on a Facebook takeover, okay? That's the only difference. Okay. All right, there you go. Bill Glose.
Okay, so as he mentioned, the YouTube channel is Virginia Poetry Online. If you just Google that, you'll find it, or if you go to YouTube and put that in the search field, you'll find it. You see I've got the camera here. Everywhere I go, I film readings and post them up there. I also want to let you know about two events coming up. One is going to feature Serena Fusek, who just read to you. She will be teaching a chapbook workshop on November 17th at the Tab Library, along with Margaret McKinnon, who's coming down from Northern Virginia. So that'll be Saturday, November 17th at the Tab Library. Next weekend, next Saturday, at the Norge Library at 11 a.m., there'll be some featured readers there too. It's a fantastic group. So the first poem I'm going to read comes from my new book, Virginia Walkabout. As the title, as you can guess from the title, I did a walk around Virginia to learn about its history, its people, and one of the things that impressed me is what a badass Captain John Smith was. He really, everybody knows the story of Pocahontas and how she rescued him from death, but there were a lot of other times where he faced near death too. On the edge of Chesapeake Bay, there's a little point called Stingray Point, and that's where he almost died from a stingray, and that's where this picks up. This is the 8th life of Captain John Smith. He thought this was the one, and so instructed men to dig his grave, while round him danced the ghosts of all the deaths he dodged. In wars for France, for Austria, for any king who'd pay his fare. In duels with Turks, whose severed heads now bless his coat of arms. So many battles and bladed whispers, taste of life so sweet thereafter. Once, wounded, captured, sold as slave, he'd slit his master's throat, rode off on his steed, death a grumble in the billowing wake. Oh, how that mossback skeleton hates being cheated. Now, years later, as a stingray's barbs fill veins with pain, he searches fevered shadows for that shrouded skull. What he sees instead, emerging from reed-spiked shallows, are deer-skinned canoes carrying those brown-skinned men he's come to love and hate. Their cures from Anti-Poison Creek grant visions of flames, a warning perhaps that 1 year hence gunpowder will flash in Smith's waist-slung sack, engulfing half his body. That flaring inferno, just one more noose from which his neck will slither free, one more pocket of blue light hidden in the dark, one more jolt to give his wild heart reason to beat. Fire burns only so bright. And this second one comes from my war collection, Half a Man, and yes, that actually is me on the cover somewhere in Iraq many years and many pounds ago. And this is Good with Hands. I wasn't good with hands until I joined the Army. Never took apart toasters and lamps, ran wiring through a wall. Changing oil or flat tires, the only tools in my belt. A drill instructor took clay of my soft hands and sculpted iron fists. I learned to cradle a neck in the crook of my elbow, drop so skull snaps free from spine. To conceal a bayonet-sharp edge against my forearm before slashing out, then swinging back with its point to stab the sweet spot. When war ended and we returned home, filled with useless knowledge, nothing to do but drink, I was relieved when a drunk struck his wife, stepping in, hands free once more to do their job, to block slow punches, break a lip, close one eye behind a swollen cheek, gather all my blood and proclaim, I am good for something.